Rap News Street Politics, the best hood channel on YouTube, and we back with another report card. This time, this the Southsider report card, man. You know we had to do it. Y'all been asking for it. We cover a lot of Southside hoods on this channel, so you know we got to give y'all who's really representing as a Southsider, who's not putting it down correctly in the streets, and overall, man, the current state and how the Southside representation is putting it down to the masses, man. Now, after doing hella volumes of this, we done did the Crips, the Bloods, the OGs. Y'all know it's 3 basic categories that we hold everybody accountable to: reputation, impact, and activity in their hood, man.
And I just saw Rap News and Street Politics doing their Crip report card. And so I know what grade you guys got, even though you all don't know.
As long as I better have a seat.
Now, it's a lot of Southsiders that's been really bubbling up, especially artists everywhere right now in the city, and we're going to get into all them. And some guys that's been around for an extremely long time. We talking about 20 years plus, that's still around as well. But before we get into all of that, make sure y'all hit that like, comment, subscribe button. Y'all make sure y'all follow us on Instagram. We popping over there too. And we about to roll out this new membership on YouTube, man, where we going to be doing free merch giveaways every month. we going to go live with the members. we going to be debating everybody that be talking shit in the comments. Anybody that just want to show love, we going to be on live for y'all. And we really going to expand it, man. Make sure all the people that's rocking with the channel is fully included in this Rap News Street Politics shit. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that join button when it drop on YouTube, man. And you know, we get a lot of dudes in the comments that be like, why this dude talk about Southside gangs, Southside politics? You know, it's a couple people that we get sometimes that don't agree with me speaking about that shit. But you know, when we talking about gangbanging, it's really only a couple ways that the shit can be done in Southern California. Whether it's a black gang or an Hispanic gang, the gangbanging is to be done at a certain level. On both sides, it's no difference in how a black gang or a Hispanic gang should be gangbanging in Southern California. And that's mostly who we be talking about on this channel. We may venture out, but again, it's only a couple ways that shit should be done. And they looked at and graded on the same scale. It is what it is. We push more unity than division on this channel. You know what I'm saying? But first up on the list, we got Lefty Gunplay. From Baldwin Park, KHA 13, Kings have arrived to that set.
Yeah, look, yeah, and I was up, I was down, I was lost. Then I found K-Hard with the crown. Ball Park, we walk them down like, yeah, in Ball Park, we walk them down like. And I was up, I was down, I was lost. Then I found K-Hard with the crown. Ball Park, we walk them down like, yeah, and I'ma fucking walk them down like.
Now, Lefty Gunplay, for sure, is one of these dudes whose face card is everywhere in the city right now. And the key thing that he be showing, man, is he be on that scante. This dude is not afraid to be off that shit. In every interview, the record, even when he behind the walls, he is not afraid to be off that shit.
Dog. T-Baby 562, shot that bitch out on the set. She work at a, I ain't gonna say what she work at, but that bitch popped on my tires, dog. Ho, the f.
When I look at you,
because it was good.
I want you to understand something.
It was good.
When I look at you, I believe it. When I look at you, I'm seeing like
no. When you look at me, hey, look. When you look at me, you see little Adam.
You're right. I see how much fun I could be having in life if I didn't have all these fucking responsibilities and shit. Because you seem like you're out here getting loaded, getting random pussy driving.
And I think that's put him in some unfavorable positions as a Southside representative, man. Now, you know, we done seen Lefty Gunplay before the rapping, before the face tattoos and all that shit, when niggas was saying that he was working at In and Out and just a square dude. We done heard dudes saying his hood ain't that popping. But let Lefty tell it. He's an active dude now. One thing that's for sure, he said he did 9 years straight.
Say why I got busted? Yeah, I did 9 years. I really did 9 years.
And what age were you when this situation went down?
18 years old. 18 years old.
18 years old.
Yes, sir.
And
wait, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, 18 years old. I got out when I was 26.
And you got sentenced like almost immediately?
Oh, because it was a sweet deal. My dad got me a lawyer. My dad straight up, like, he got me a lawyer and shit. He's a stockbroker. He live in Florida. He don't with my mom no more. He living his own life and shit. But yeah, he got me a lawyer. They knew shit was hitting the fan, and they got me a lawyer and they told me to sign ASAP because if I didn't sign, shit was gonna get worse. So right away, I signed for 13 years with 85%. Got the paperwork on my pad.
That shit just don't add up. we gonna have to cut straight to it. The nigga was lying about the time that he did straight. Not debating the fact that he actually did go to prison. But when you look at the rap sheet, look when he was in and look when he was out, this shit don't add up. But the crazy thing is, man, when you look at the nigga rap sheet, he should have been doing motherfucking 9. How the fuck this nigga keep getting out on all these motherfucking gun charges? Something not really adding up with Lefty, man. I don't know if it's the dope getting to this dude or if he just got a good ass lawyer every time he get behind the walls, man. But when you look at this sheet, he keeps going down and he keeps getting out. Now, I'm not saying this dude snitching or anything like that, but I'm saying he ain't do 9 straight when he said he did 9 straight, but the rap sheet looked like he should have been doing 9 straight. I don't know. But that was something that was off with Lefty, man. And something we also seen was him almost get into a scuffle on the podcast. Now, he was on Hood Stocks, and he was arguing with the host on Hood Stocks. And, man, the host got up and said he wanted that business.
You on my platform, bro. Let me tell you something, dog. It's not even like that. He told me what it is. We're chilling.
I already apologized, dog, so let's move forward, bro.
I walked out, dog.
Let's catch a fade, bro. Let's catch a fade.
Now, dude called him out for the fade. He was on Hood Stocks. They got into an argument. Hood Stocks said, man, let's catch the fade. Now, I know it's a lot of dudes in the background that didn't want to see that happen. But again, Lefty being on that shit or he on that drink, this dude be talking out his ass. He be hella slithered and fucked up every time we see him. So, you know, he be talking himself into different situations, but we didn't see him catch that fade. Now, that could have been, again, because motherfuckers had stopped it, didn't want to see it. Nobody, of course, want to really see that between their people when they in a spot when it's supposed to be some positivity going on, but it was just a bad look for Lefty. And it seemed like he rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. Now, that was with some Southern Hispanics on Hood Stocks. Then we seen him beefing with bands from the Rose, the Norteños.
Where you at? I'm down south on your side of the map. Yeah, I heard that little booty ass rap. What the fuck, dog? Why you even talking like that? Cause nigga, you ain't no thug. Acting all hard cause you geeking on drugs. Dopey raps that got you a little buzz. But I'm knowing deep down you really just wanna hug. Hey, y'all heard what he said? Something about making his celly give him head? 2 bunkies sharing the same bed. This nigga made his ass clap when he told him what's the spread, homie?
Now, that's a whole nother situation. We just seen bands from the Rose come down, hit no jumper. Shortly after he beefing with Lefty, he go to Baldwin Park, put the video out, him and Lefty going back and forth. And then he had some shit to say about Baldacci, fucking with gold toes and fucking with dudes from the North. And that's kind of a slippery slope right now. It's a lot of dudes that say the Norteños is not Sureño enemies on the street. Reason being is because there's no Norteños in LA. Them dudes ain't beefing it down here. Now, when you go to Northern California, Sureños is up there. Norteños and Sureños beef outside of the walls in the North. But down here, we don't have Norteños. So it's not like these dudes is really beefing it. So that's the most shit that's being stirred up in the streets right now with Lefty. But something that really was a bombshell was when he talked about his daughter not bringing home a black dude. That shit sent the internet up.
It's crazy, dog. Like, race is a big thing. Like honestly, me, myself, personally, I'm not going to come home or I'm not going to let my daughter come home with a black dude. I'm going to be like, what the f***? You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is out here.
Now, every black platform seen that shit and was not happy about what he was talking about. And again, when he said this, look at him. He fucked up. This dude is never not fucked up in the podcast or in the interview. He never sober. And I think that's the people around him not making sure he on point. But again, we could say he probably got some yes men around him. But either way, this is not how the Southsiders want to be represented. And a lot of Southsiders is not fucking with dude. They falling in and out with this dude. But overall, man, this shit's sloppy. It don't look good. We got to give Lefty Gunplay an effort and shit. This ain't it, man. You got to get off that scante. You got to get off that shit. This ain't the right representation for this Southside gangbanging. But next up on the list, we got another dude, another young Southsider whose face card has been circling around the media. We got Swifty Blue from Eastside Paramount. Again, man, Swifty Blue was another outspoken dude whose face is always in the media. And it seemed like, just like Lefty, he be rubbing dudes the wrong way, no diddy. And when I say that, you know, we done seen Swifty beefing with all kind of people for all kind of reasons. one thing that stood out was that situation that he had with 18th Street.
Just, you know what I'm saying? You know I don't got nothing against you or nothing. I know, but yeah, my nigga. Run down 50. We're not gonna be on that my nigga's spot. All right, come on. You did that shit. Come on, nigga. That shit on YouTube. Come on, nigga. That shit, fuck all that thing shit, cuz. What you think I'm supposed to let this phone? But hey, it is what it is. Ain't nobody got shot or killed. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Now, you know, a lot of people was talking about he got pressed by 18. And when you wrote a clip, he didn't get pressed. He approached the situation as he should have. Now, there was other clips, which I presume was before this situation, where he was dissing 18th Street.
It's okay, though. We're gonna handle business. Me top Paramount, homie. We from 18, homie. We're from 18. We're from 18, homie. Lift up your shirt. Lift up your shirt, dog. Shirt? This Paramount, you saw it. All right? Hold on. Where you from, dog? You sure? Hey, whose liquor store is this? Whose hood is this? Whose hood is this? You from around here? No, you from? Shirt? All right, homie, you don't pay. Who else? Hold on.
He dissing these dudes. He rolled up on somebody outside the store who he thought was a member from 18. And he was with all that dissing at that time. Now, again, he's from Paramount. There is an 18th Street in Bellflower. So he's close to these dudes, one of their sections. But, you know, with that situation with him doing all the dissing, if that was before them guys from 18 approached him, you know, he wasn't giving off that same energy with the dissing that he was doing. Now, this low-key is a narrative of Swifty Blue, man. Swifty Blue be popping it. And some say he loves to press civilians. And we've seen that, you know what I'm saying, where he pressed the Asian dude that he was thinking was from ABC, Asian Boys. He was dissing the Asian Boys. But that dude also, just like the dude from 18th Street, or supposedly from 18th Street, the civilian that was popping out the store, the Asian dude was just a civilian. So we seen him getting real aggressive with the dissing with these people that don't be from these hoods. But like we seen when them real 18th Street members popped up on him, it was no dissing of they hood. Now, another thing was said was King Lil G swung on Swifty. Now, King Lil G is from 18th Street. One second we see him with some people, then another he falls out and they beefing, you know what I'm saying? But just to keep it fair, he's looking to beef with anything right now. We gonna cover King Lil G and his situation in this video as well, but King Lil G supposedly somebody that swung on Swifty. So, you know, I don't know where the cards exactly lie with Swifty Blue, but again, just like Lefty, some of the dudes that came before him don't see him as a favorable representative of this Southside shit. Some people say he be stirring the pot up. You know what I'm saying? He be in a lot of beef. We seen him beefing with OGZ. He said him and Peysoh had OGZ running when they encountered him.
There was a shooting that show too. I'll be honest with you, hell no. My platform ain't as big as his, but I'm a gang member. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm not no bitch ass tagger, not no punk ass resident, none. I'm a gang member. I'm Southside, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's different levels to this shit. You can have all this money and street level and this, that, whoop, whoop, you know what I'm saying? You're not a real Southsider though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you motherfucker.
But the situation surrounding him and OGZ's beef was kind of, I don't know, you could say a little race fueled, where he was saying he felt like OGZ is a Hispanic or Mexican rapper. He should be doing songs and really fucking with other Hispanic and Mexican rappers. But we know OGZ and we know Showline Mafia, them dudes fuck with a lot of black rappers. OGZ is heavy in the black rap scene. So basically what Swifty Blue was saying is he had a problem with OGZ not fucking with the Hispanic rappers like that. Now, the way he said it, he was trying to say, you know, he was tripping at the time or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But again, that seemed like some race fuel shit.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little, like, I was upset. I was like, I thought that,
I'm trying to think.
I thought they was Hispanic. I thought they was Hispanic, but they over here like rapping with all the blacks and they won't fuck with no Hispanics. Whatever, that's something else. So I was just like, I just dropped a laughing emoji. I was like, I thought that was funny. And then he commented like, what the fuck's so funny? And then I comment back, for you, something like that.
And one thing about Swifty and Lefty is they both from hoods that are kind of outside of LA. They're not gonna be around a lot of black gangs. Now, race wars is something that's major in the city. Hoods, like Paramount 13, like Baldwin Park. It's not gonna be a heavy presence of black gangs in those areas, opposed to how 18th Street, Florencia, Mid-City Stoners, all them type of hoods, they coexisted and kind of grown up with other black gang members. So race relations sometimes, even when the beef was there, you know what I'm saying? But race relations are a little bit better when you grow up with the other race. Or, you know what I'm saying, from elementary school, middle school. You know, me being black, my best friends in elementary was Hispanic. And they grew up to be Hispanic gang members. That's just how it is. You know, when you grow up closer to the inner city, that's just how it is. And I think that's where Swifty and Lefty kind of have to bite their tongue, you know what I'm saying? When they get on these interviews, they start talking and kind of get ahead of themselves with some shit. But what we did see was Swifty was also signed to Mr. Criminal. Now, we really got a lot of shit to say about Mr. Criminal in this video, so y'all stick for that. But Swifty was signed to that dude. He said he didn't get a lot of help, and maybe it's for the best, man, if he didn't want to get told on. But overall, man, Swifty, his impact for his section is there. He's repping his set. I don't know if it's proper when he's banging on people, if he's really targeting civilians. But, you know, overall, we ain't heard no smut or paperwork come on Swifty Blue name. He ain't really did no wild shit for motherfuckers to be talking down on his street credibility. So, you know, he got a lot of shit going on. Like we said, he's stirring the pot. He's in a bunch of beef. He doing a bunch of shit on camera. But overall, man, I would say he's still solid, man. But I'm going to give Swifty Blue a B. You know, some things just need to get cleaned up a little bit here and there. And yeah, some dudes from his side may not think he's a favorable dude. But I mean, again, it ain't no snitch paperwork. Ain't no super smut on his name, man. So we got to give him a B. Now, next up on the list, man, we got an older Sureño. We got Dubs from Westside Santa Bruta 13.
It needs to be abundantly clear. Raza, I'm pretty sure for the Vatos from up north is the same thing, but for down south, they don't give anybody a head up fee.
Now, Dubs is a YouTuber, man. He's not a rapper. He's not doing what these young dudes is doing. He's on YouTube. And it's one thing about Dubs, man. Dubs is not going to hold his tongue. He's not afraid to speak on his homies, what he doesn't like and what he does like about his homies. And he's also not afraid to speak on black dudes either, man. And that's something that we don't see. A lot of people don't like to blur the lines. I understand why, but man, this is YouTube. This ain't prison. It's not level 4. I understand there's a lot of shit that's going on in the streets between both sides. But like I said, man, it is what it is. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. And Dubs is somebody that's going to follow that practice as well, to a certain extent, though. One key thing about Dubs is he's going to say whatever the fuck he want to say, but he's not going to talk or go too far, I believe. I done seen Dubs a lot before this situation, but somebody that really kind of shined a light on Dubs for me and made me want to look deeper into his content and listen to what he's talking about is Damian Porter, man. Shout out Damian Porter, one of the best storytellers on YouTube, man. We got to shout him out. But Dubs is somebody who's going to speak about situations, but not get messy about some shit, not be doing a whole bunch of implicating. Dubs is somebody that spent a lot of time on that yard, and it's said by him and others that he didn't call some shots on the yard. So with that being said, we see a certain way that he's representing this Southside or Sureño shit to the masses. And it's a way that we want to see. We don't see Dubs high or drunk off the scante. We don't see him stirring up shit now. That right there is something that's debatable to some. One of the most recent controversial things that Dubs has said was when he talked about a situation about some Southsiders taking over some shit on the yard from the blacks. And basically was saying there was no contest from the blacks over the situation. This has sent the internet into an uproar. Damian Porter spoke about it. Hoodie Hood spoke about it. Now, Dubs and Hoodie Hood used to be cool. I think they separated. You know, we fuck with Hoodie Hood, but I think they decided to go their separate ways in terms of their relationship. And I don't know if it was necessarily because of this situation that Dubs spoke on. We done seen Chill speak on it from 16 to Life. Hella motherfuckers spoke on this shit. And a lot of people felt like Dubs was being racist and that he is a racist. Now, regarding this situation, I'm not going to speak on that. I can't say who or what happened. If anybody was lying, I'm not going to talk about none of that shit. Now, Dubs has also been one to call out Swifty Blue on his actions. Like we said, Swifty Blue and some of these young dudes They seem to be unfavorable from some of the older representatives in their section. Now, Dub's hood is from Santa Barbara. He's not from LA. But like I said, man, I like how he calls out both sides. He calls a spade, man. If somebody playing, he gonna speak on it. If somebody standing on business, he gonna speak on that too. But reputation-wise, it seemed like he's not exactly what some of they older homies want to see over there from the South Side. And you know, a lot of motherfuckers be talking about Dub's current status. And when they speak on it, they basically saying he a dropout. I don't know if he got off the yard and finished up in a 50-50 yard, whatever that is. I can't say. A lot of dudes are saying that he did, that he dropped out. But I seen the motherfuckers saying that kind of having a hard time proving it or showing the paperwork. Certainly he hasn't shown no paperwork saying he dropped out. Is he an active gang member politicking? I don't think so either. But I will say when he was serving his time as a Sureño, it seemed like he was solid. You know what I'm saying? And there was no smut paperwork or anything on his name in, no snitch paperwork. And some motherfuckers that said they had a hard time proving any of the allegations. You know what I'm saying? But I think Dubs is somebody that kind of calls a spade, so to speak. Based on the positions that he's been put in, who he grew up with, where he grew up, you know, it kind of is what it is. Now, I don't have a personal relationship with Dubs, but from my standpoint, I would say Dubs got an A for his representation, his impact, and his activity, especially inside them walls, man. Dubs is a representative that we want to see from the Southsiders. It just is what it is. Now, next up on the list, we got Peysoh from Eastside Playboys 13, PBS Rabbit Gang.
Right, hit the other side like fuck a mention, let's go get one. Fuck it if he run on evil shot, it make it more fun. Double stack chopper when it bark, bitch, we slang the sun. Missed the 30 shots, but lately I've been rocking 50 drums. Bouncing out on Fleeto, murder block, fucking window skit. Switch it, got him ducking, popping though like nigga limbo this. When I caught shit, I never mind the sucker, still hurting. Flaming it for Chucky, fuck peace, bitch, we still purging on hood.
They done lost a couple niggas, they know what we on. Do this shit for all my niggas that be.
Now, Peysoh was somebody who's seemingly trying to pick up the torch where MoneySign Sway left off. You know, his face card has been outside, and he trying to put on for a section, man, but I'm gonna cut straight to the shit. I feel like Peysoh playing somewhat of a dangerous game. Now, I done seen Peysoh, of course, when he was with MoneySign Sway, we seen him with some members from Florence. And we can go all the way back to when he shot that video on 56th in FIU hood. Now, he is from that area. He's from the Maywood area. Now, some people ask, how he from Maywood, he from 56th, PBS. That's just a ride down Slauson, man. It's not that far. So I understand how he could have made his way over to PBS hood, being from Maywood or Huntington Park, whatever side he's actually from. But again, the key thing I see from Peysoh, man, I done seen him with niggas from Hoover. I done seen him with Ben Frankie, Jap, Threat. He done been with them real members from Hoover. I done seen him with the Power Rules. It's also a picture with this dude with SBS, the Sentinel Boys. And you know, with that, he got a song with Crook One.
Thinking you the shit, you better step aside. Just me and Nina when we trippin', always keep an eye. I can't argue with you busters, barely paying mine. And if he slippin' on this shot, then he gon' pay a fine. Clutching up and blicky, won't give him a chance to bust. And if I run up on this dummy, no flagging, I'm quick to up.
Now we know Crook One fuck with Cam. Cam and SBS not getting along. So, you know, these is vastly different sections that Peysoh was with. Not saying it's something like inherently wrong with the shit. I just feel like he could be potentially playing a dangerous game, spreading himself too thin around these streets with different hoods. That's 5 sets: Florencia, SBS, Cam, the Rules, the Hoovers, PBS. You know, that's a lot. Now, something else we see him beefing with Chino the P.
Fuck Peysoh. They should have kept that nigga in jail. I heard that nigga in the shower just because he was scared of that.
That nigga look like shit, nigga, for my sake.
Hiding himself because you scary, what? Nigga smell like shit for a week. Nigga, I was in there.
Now, Chino the P is going to be from Body O Evil. PBS and Body O Evil is not going to get along, so I understand where the beef lies between them. But, man, I got to call a spade a spade. It's kind of looking like a gang groupie in this motherfucker. You know, we see him with his set. We see him with Rabbit Gang. We see them dudes in the videos. Now, it could just be linking up with the music with a bunch of different sets. Like I said, it's nothing wrong with that. You just got to be very careful, because there was also some allegations of this dude throwing a Florencia at one point. Now, we seen a picture of him. He was in the halls. Now, you know he got the 5'6" tatted on him. I don't know if he had the 5'6" at this point, but he been repping 5'6". Now, there's 56th Street in Maywood, FIU Hood, where he shot that video at, and then there's 56th Street Playboy. So, you know, I don't know if it's a blurred line between him repping 56th and then be coming from the actual 56th in PBS. But with the picture of him in the halls, it kind of looked like he was throwing the F up. Some people say he was throwing 35th Street PBS up. I'm like, okay, if you're from 56th, why would you be throwing up 35th? Now, some people like to say, hey, I rep all of them. But in my experience, niggas that's gangbanging repping they block. You know what I'm saying? When they throwing they shit up, they throwing they set up. They click within the gang or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Look, I could be wrong on this, and I could be wrong with this being Florencia that he's throwing up. But again, we can't be no gang groupies out here. I understand wanting to fuck with everybody, wanting to get your name out there, wanting to spread around for the business and do all of that. But man, some things are very dangerous to be playing with in these streets, especially in LA. Now, some other shit going around was saying he doing the cholos for hire type move. Basically paying for protection to be moving around these streets. I can't say how true that is, but I do know when he was fucking with Suede, when Suede was alive, F-Gang was around MoneySign Suede. So now that MoneySign Suede is not here no more, him fucking with PBS and Florencia is going to be enemies. They beefing extremely hard, especially towards that South Park area. So, you know, I can't necessarily say, I'm not going to put a jacket on him. He's really buzzing in the city right now. I do know that, man. And I like the movement with the music. But the street movement, I got to give it a C. I can't say it's this or that right now, but it's dangerous right now. You know what I'm saying? He's moving around in different areas, in different pockets. And we see what sadly happened to MoneySign Suede. There's a bunch of allegations around that. We just don't want to see this young dude make the wrong move and end up with the short end of the stick, if you know what I'm saying. So, Peysoh, Eastside Rabbit Gang, he gets a C. Now, next up, we got Mr. Criminal from Silver Lake Terese. Man, this gonna be some nasty work.
All I wanted to be was a baller. Committed many sins, forgive me, Father. And I do it for my sons and my daughter. Promise myself this winter was caught up. A legend in the game, making history. Whenever my name was brought up, used to gangbang in them dickies. Now it's Benzes in that product.
Now, for everybody that's not familiar with the Chicano rap scene, Mr. Criminal has been somebody that's been around for an extremely long time. Rocking with Mr. Capone. These are dudes whose name's been ringing bell in the city for over 20 years. Now, Silver Lake Terese, I don't know if they still active, if it's an active set. I heard that they not really around no more, but this is the hood Mr. Criminal is from. But to cut straight to the shit, man, everything in the past don't, and nothing matters at this point anymore. The paperwork is out on Mr. Criminal. Now, apparently he's down in Banning right now, the IE, that like by Beaumont, all that shit down there, Hemet. This is where Mr. Criminal is residing right now and doing this shit. And he done got wrapped up in a hot one, man. Now, this case was situated around the hood called Banning Sapos. And it's a dude named Diablo that ended up being the one that got snitched on by Mr. Criminal. But apparently, you know, he was hanging with these dudes. Now, in this paperwork, man, it show his name, Roberto Garcia, a.k.a. Mr. Criminal. And he was fucking with high power back in the day, man. And he ended up getting his own label, Crime Family. And Crime Families also spoke about it in the paperwork. So this shit go on to read, man. The detective asked Garcia, Mr. Criminal, if he knew why a warrant was being served at his crib. Mr. Criminal said he thought it had something to do with Jason Rhine, which is Diablo. Now, I think Diablo was also rocking with his little label, Crime Family, but this is somebody he was clearly fucking with and had street dealings with. Now, this dude Criminal said he saw Diablo before and after the murder and spoke about how Diablo referenced smoking somebody to the detective. We ain't got to go much further. I told you, the shit is out on Mr. Criminal. Any reputation he had in the streets before this, after this, none of that shit need to be talked about. We don't need a backstory on Mr. Criminal. This dude ratted. Horrible representation of the Southsiders, man. And you know, many people consider Mr. Criminal to be top tier in Chicano rap. We done heard threats call him a legend. This shit took the internet by storm, man, and it's not something that anybody expected from Criminal. But it is what it is. It ain't no going back. The rap career is done. The street shit, if there was any left, is over with. And you know, he started talking about converting to a pastor or some other shit like that, taking everybody off the label. The dude started to move real funny with this whole situation, and man, we see why. This dude is not it. And he goes to the IE thinking he gonna get away with this shit. But this paper from 2021, it came out on his ass and it's over with. Mr. Criminal, F. This dude's bad news. He's no good any longer. Now, next up on the list, we got somebody coming out of Orange County, man. We got DrexTheJoint from Southside Jackers crew.
Look, bitch, I'm with the bounce out. Shootouts in broad day. Ain't never in your hood, so I'm coming where your mama stay. I was in the hood, bitch. Even in them holidays, I really came for nothing. So on Jason had to find a way. My niggas going schizo. We quit to let that shit blow. I don't give a fuck if I got it, bitch. I'ma need more. They lost me. They tryna find a nigga like he Nemo. Never stressing with bitches. I'm only worried about some C-notes. I banned for the blows. Fuck, I'm a fight for. I'm still a dog in these freaky bitches without a rhino. You the top to roll it up. Man, we don't like those. My niggas up to murder rate, bro. Don't lose your life, though. Don't get it confused.
Now, Drex from Southside Jackers, man. But if y'all pay close attention, man, he took Duno to KPC 13 Hood. So that's why DrexTheJoint is still a representative for the Southsiders, man. We got to put him on this list. He a young dude buzzing out of the OC. And, man, I think he represented this shit right. Now, we don't see a lot of rappers coming out of the OC. We don't see a lot of shit coming out the OC, period. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of hoods out there. It's a lot of gangbanging going on between Anaheim, Santa Ana, City of Orange. All that shit is connected to Garden Grove. This shit will end up in Long Beach. It's a lot going on in the OC. But one very noticeable thing that we seen from DrexTheJoint is this dude look black, man. Everybody initially thought this dude was black and Mexican, maybe even black, period. When he was talking about he was Mexican, I'm like, fuck that, this nigga black. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Duno, man. We seen that interview. And we got a real inside look at DrexTheJoint, and he is 100% Hispanic, man.
No, gracias a ustedes.
Yeah. Thank you guys, man. This is DrexTheJoint's mom, you know what I'm saying? We're at the first stop. Where we at, Paul? Break it down to me.
Where I used to live, where I grew up at, where it all started from the mud, my boy right here.
Yeah.
We're at Durant 15 right here, Washington right here. We got 15 over there. Yeah, this is where I grew up. This is where it all started for DrexTheJoint, though, nigga.
And like I said, the way he putting it down for the Southsiders, Hispanic rap, being a young dude like this, man, he looked like he had some composure about himself, and that's what we want to see. This dude started buzzing like earlier this year when I first started to see this dude, and it seemed like his name is only getting bigger in the streets. And like we touched on, he said he came up in this KPC 13 Hood, crazy proud criminals out of Santa Ana, man. Now, he didn't proclaim to be a member of this set, but Santa Ana still be cracking, man. I done been in Santa Ana, I done seen all kind of shit cracking over there. And we're going to be covering hoods out there as well. But KPC is going to be close to F Troop, Lopers. They got a lot of shit going on in the OC, man. But again, with DrexTheJoint, we don't see this dude doing too much popping it. I ain't seen him in no beef, especially not no LA beef. OC and LA gangs is two different things. So when he come to LA, we see him pushing this section, trying to glow up, trying to bring his section out, pushing the music. He really doing it right. And he pushing his jacket shit too. You know, I don't know what type of beef the Jackals are in. Like I said, I don't think they a Sudeño hood. I don't think they connected with that 13. You know, I think it's some tagging shit, but I think they got some counterparts that are connected. So this is what we see when DrexTheJoint got these blue rags on and shit like that. He's still a representative. So I say all that to say this, DrexTheJoint got an A on this shit, man. I see him representing this shit right. And this is what we want to see out of the Southsiders. Now, next up on the list, we got a real controversial dude who was pushing that 13. I highly doubt he still is. We got G-Face from Westside White Fence 13.
He's an Armenian guy in a Mexican gang, and he came to do the interview with a Blood and a Crip.
Doubled back right now again.
Here we are again today.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and that's for the cameras. Before.
Now, for all y'all that's been fucking with the channel, y'all seen a while ago, we said that G-Face was a rat. Before all the shit came out of his paperwork and his alleged dealings with the feds or whatever the case was, we said this fool was a rat. We seen him popping around no jumper, fucking with different niggas in the city. We seen him fucking with dudes from Avalon, fucking with dudes from Compton, Pyru sets. But one thing we didn't see him with was anybody from his own set. We never seen him with a bunch of Sudaño dudes. And we never seen a lot of dudes from the Sudaño or Southside card say they fucking with him. What we seen was him fucking with Bloods and Crips. And that was the first red flag. Of course, the biggest one was the paperwork that was produced on him when he snitched way back when on dudes that's sitting in right now. And a lot of dudes tapped in with us about that case, personally, about the dudes that's really sitting down that he told on. And then it comes out that this dude is a federal informant after catching a federal case. This is not the representation that the Southside want to see, man. Or anybody want to see this, any gang member. Nobody want to see this weird ass shit go on. Dudes trying to infiltrate other sets, become cool with different dudes, just so he can turn around and snitch on them, man. This is what G-Face was plotting. And it's not even right to say that he's a real official member from White Fence 13, because like we touched on in that video, he was hood hopping. He hood hopped from Armenian Power to White Fence. And you know, the reason why y'all can't see that video is because he snitched on us with the video. He had it taken down, man. Right before he went in, it was doing numbers. He seen motherfuckers had the real paperwork on him, and he went against our channel to have it taken down. So this dude is a rat any way you cut it. And it shows that everybody that was fucking with him, like G Uno, Baby Shooter, everybody stepped away from this dude, and then boom, he gets hit with an indictment. And then it comes out that he's an informant. This shit crazy, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see this dude get touched, even on that PCR that he landed on. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Somebody like this only deserves to get an F- for this shit. This dude was never solid, was never cut like that, hood hopping, telling, fuck the allegations, this is full-blown fact. This nigga's an F- on this shit, man. He can never come back from this. Horrible representation for what this shit is. Now, next up on the list, man, we got somebody that's like the complete opposite of this fool G-Face, man. We got Baldacci, Lil Pelon from Florencia after that set.
I got the city on my back, that's Los Angeles. Face of the city, yellow tape, don't need an ambulance. I got a hater living cheap, holding coattails, picking at his feet while he's tweaking at the hotel. These suckers little guns, I hold a face breaker. Better stay away from the plug, you got a pacemaker. I rep the F-Fort, see this a death sport. The only track you get on and hustle is when you escort.
Now, Baldacci, he called himself the king of LA, man. And I don't think he get a lot of kickback for that. I don't see a lot of dudes kind of going against that. And I think there's a lot of representatives in LA, man, especially with their face card. And I believe he's one in his section, man. We covered F13 in depth on our East Side South Central video and our Huntington Park video. Y'all go check them out. But we covered F13 the hard way, and I don't have no problem with Baldacci calling himself the face of LA. Like I said, I believe he's one of them, especially in this section. He been outside for a long time. I've seen this dude for an extremely long time with his face card, representing the Southsiders in F13 the right way. Now, there's been a lot of scrutiny around this dude lately, man. It was that situation with Gold Toes that a couple dudes kind of jumped on his head about. And the two dudes I seen was Lefty Gunplay and Bozo.
God. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, apparently it was a situation that he took part in with Gold Toes, a music video shoot or whatever that Bozo was explaining on how Gold Toes, being somewhat of a Norteño representer, came down to LA and kind of is moving around the streets. You know what I'm saying? And without being touched is what Bozo was saying. Now, Baldacci was taking the stance of there was representation there, but really there's no need to touch this dude like that. He's not posing a threat. He's not an enemy.
You know, I met the dude, we exchanged numbers. He was a humble cat, bro. You know, Gotos was definitely a very humble individual. Told me, you know what, we communicated a little bit there. Basically took it a little further, communicated off, you know, off that situation, off that video. And, you know, everybody's, for some reason, assuming that I signed to Gotos.
Right.
Which I'm not signed to Gotos. Everybody assuming that I'm just like a northerner now, dog, that I'm from up there. Like, nah. We got good communication. We got respect. You know, it's mutual.
And I think a lot of dudes are intertwining these prison politics with these street politics. Like I said before, there's no Norteños in Southern California. So I think it's a line to be drawn on whether or not these dudes are Southside enemies or not on the streets or when they come down here. Now, an individual like me, not being a Southsider, based on prison politics and other shit like that, I would assume so, but it seems like other people have different viewpoints on the situation. And it's clear to see Baldacci is one of them. We seen him doing work with Gold Toes. And we seen him get a lot of respect from the dudes up north because of that relationship with Gold Toes. But the main thing we see from Baldacci is he's still good in his hood, man. He still gets the support from the Sureños and the Southsiders alike, man. And we seen him put the diss track out in response to these dudes talking about the situation with him messing with dudes from the north. But we seen a couple dudes like Conejo. We gonna touch on him. He talked about he had a great time when he went up north. It was no beef. So I think it's some dudes that's gonna be on both sides of the fence with this when it's coming down to people fucking with dudes from the north. But I also have to say, Gold Toes didn't come down here like bands from the Rose came down here, beefing with Lefty and filming a music video in people's hoods and shit like that. I think it's a different situation with Gold Toes. So that's why the situation was handled the way it was between Baldacci and Gold Toes. It was no animosity. But we also seen Baldacci have somewhat of an overall good positive thing to say about Lefty Gunplay when he was on Bootleg Kev, man. Shout out Bootleg Kev as well. He wasn't necessarily going out his way to talk shit about Lefty in that interview. So I think where Baldacci is right now, he's into more gluing shit together than dividing. You know what I'm saying? And as an older member, that's what he should be on. This dude has been a representative for this street shit for a long time in LA, man. And it's good to see after all the shit that done transpired with this dude that he's still putting it down the right way and representing the right way for his set. That's why we got to give Baldacci an A for this shit, man. He don't seem to be on bullshit in the streets, still respected in his hood, all while still pushing the line and representing this shit right when he opened his mouth, man. Now, next up on the list, we got Bozo from Pico Nuevo 13.
If I'm bringing up the issue, big sureño. Tattoos of guac demo, I'm a god in this temple. Ain't no fear on my schedule. I'll be wearing all blue and I'm feeling real smooth. Can't stop for no bitch, I'll be on my next move. Wanna soak up real game, look me up on YouTube. I'm outside with my gang. I'm a bruiser, I'm a goon. In a European coupe, I got diamonds on the cruise.
Now again, like we just said, man, Bozo is not too fond of the situation that Gold Toes got going on with coming down to LA and functioning.
Also, Gold Toes.
Yeah.
They shot the music video down here.
Yeah, he shot the music video down here, man. It was a pretty, you know, it was a big deal, right? Like it seemed like it was a big deal. It seemed like it was a hidden message, but once again, dog, you know, like another goofball, you know, and it's unfortunate because he's a grown man, you know.
This dude has also had a situation where he was beefing with that snitch G-Face, rightfully so. He clearly seen something was off with G-Face, but Bozo is another dude that sat down for a substantial amount of time. I think he did 10 out of an initial 35-year sentence. So this is a dude that's been on the main line, that's walked it, and he's been representing this shit for a very long time. He's also been out here rapping as well, like most of these dudes on this list are. But one thing we can say about Bozo, man, regardless of his situation with Baldacci, Gold Toes, that whole situation, this is a dude that's kept it solid with his set. And he also had a situation where he was beefing with Mr. Capone for a little bit. Now, that wasn't a situation that he had spoke on that would have led to bloodshed or anything like that. I think it was just some, may have been over business, but we seen that from him as well. And we seen him fucking with them dudes out in New York, man, Benny the Butcher. We seen him bridging the gap between black and brown, like a lot of these dudes on this list are as well. We're merging the rap together with some black dudes. But somebody he was really critical over was Tyga. When Tyga did that Ay Caramba music video and shit, that shit was crazy. I don't even know what Tyga was thinking about with the music video or what he was trying to achieve with those visuals. But the Hispanic community as a whole didn't fuck with it. And Bozo was one of them dudes that put it out there that he was pretty much pulling Tyga's race card. And he said something that, you know, we see on this channel as well, man. The Hispanic supporters are real deal. When they support you, they really fuck with you, and we appreciate all the support that we get from the Hispanic community, as well as the black community, everybody that fuck with us, period. But we do recognize that once we started covering Hispanic sets and talking about dudes that was representing the South Side or the Sureño car, we got an outpour of support. And that's what he was saying with Tyga. You know, they've been supporting Tyga from the beginning of his career, and for him to do that Ay Caramba shit, it was kind of like a slap in the face to his audience. And we seen Tyga take the video down because of that shit. But we didn't see the video crazy. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what he's trying to depict to the Hispanic audience. But again, Bozo was one of them dudes who wasn't having that shit. But going back to Bozo and Baldacci, I don't know if his beef with Baldacci is to the point where they actually physically gonna be beefing in the streets. But I know he's not a dude that's supporting the Norteños coming down here to really do anything in LA. And again, rightfully so. Like I said, there's a line that's to be drawn, and it's going to be people on both sides of the fence And some people are gonna have different situations and interactions with the Norteños, especially if they went to prison. So for him, not really liking the Gold Toes movement or whatever the fuck is going on with the Norteños, we can't blame him for that. But hopefully him and Baldacci clean it up, come together, and continue to rep the Southside as one. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, like I said, Bozo's a solid dude. He's been putting it down for a minute. We got to give Bozo an A for his representation of this shit, man. Now, next up on the list, we got somebody that was extremely influential in LA, man. Somebody that sadly lost his life for this shit. We got MoneySign Sway, rest in peace. And his alignment was to Huntington Park, most notably Florencia after that set.
She like the way I need it, always fresh. I'm a little nigga from the double X. I'ma pull up, make a scene, I'ma make a mess. I'm on parole, but I just went in by the nooch. I be finessing, I be double S-ing. Niggas and bitches be staring when I step in. I just caught a plug and bought a new glizzy. I was just in the hood with my nigga Swifty.
Now again, man, we got to get a rest in peace to MoneySign Sway. This dude was for sure the next up coming out of LA for the Hispanic community. We talked about his alignment with Peysoh, but most notably, we know he was repping Huntington Park to the end. And we seen him really around them F-13 members. Now, that's going to be a key thing in what we about to talk about with Sway. Now, we all know the situation that happened to him when he was behind them walls, man. He didn't get a chance to hit the streets. And there's two reasons that I heard on the reason behind him not making it out of prison. Now, the first thing we heard was that he was pretty much on the yard that was extorting him. It was some dudes on the yard, some Southsiders, that was kind of like taxing him. Now, I don't know about that one. You know what I'm saying? That could be the case. But again, he had these ties to F-13. But a key thing I think with Swade is he wasn't fully aligning himself as an F-13 member. It's for sure that he was an affiliate, but with the type of affiliation that he had and that he portrayed to the media, when he hit behind the walls, the alignment was imminent. You gotta be aligned at that point. You can't be promoting F-13, as we see with these dudes in the music video, and then get to prison and just be a civilian or a non-affiliate. That's not happening. And I think that played a part in the situation that happened to Swade, man. I think there was some teetering of the fence, or maybe, you know, just not being full-fledged with this shit with Swade. Not saying that you gotta be a gang member, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, especially how the Southside car moved, you can't be this much affiliated with these dudes and then just not be with any type of bullshit when you get behind them walls. Now, it's said that some Southside dudes was extorting him, possibly because he was teetering the line. Maybe they didn't see him as a factor or somebody that was really the right representation of the Southside shit. That's one thing I heard. Now, another thing that was said is that some dudes didn't like some shit that he was doing as a Southsider. Now, both of them could be valid reasons. I can't say which one it is or if it's either one of those. But that's what's being said on why he didn't make it out of prison. But nonetheless, he was surrounded by F-13 members and he was surrounded by Peysoh. Now, Peysoh is a dude from Eastside Playboy. F-13 and Playboy is not going to get along, like we touched on when we spoke on Peysoh. And we seen dudes from PBS said they snatched MoneySign Swade chain. So, you know, I don't know where the divide was with Peysoh being with the PBS dudes, MoneySign Swade fucking with Florencia, and both of them dudes hanging out together. But, you know, what we also seen is both of them dudes like to be around a lot of different sets, a lot of different people, especially Peysoh. So I think things like that for sure play a factor when you get behind them walls, man. And I don't think MoneySign Swade was really pushing a Florencia line, regardless of how much he had these dudes in the video or how much influence he had or how much he was putting these dudes on. But nonetheless, man, this dude was a very impactful guy on that part of the city and really the city of LA whole, man. He was representing this shit right. We seen him on records with Ralphie. He was doing all kind of shit. He was everywhere before he went in.
I remember when my nigga got taken. I slipped back so I was training while she baking. Swifty acting up, what the fuck that nigga taking? They don't know about this life, they be faking. I pray to God, but in my dreams I see Satan. I put her with a mask like Jason.
So his impact in the Hispanic culture, man, is second to none, I would say. But when it comes down to this gangbanging shit and teetering the fence, man, that's where I think he may have made a mistake. And I think that's a lesson for all the young dudes that's really coming up and around different sets and not really aligning yourself with a set or being from a clique that's around a set. You know, you got to be real careful because, man, shit can turn dangerous and deadly with just being affiliated or just knowing dudes or growing up with dudes, not even being from over there for real, or having an official put on with being from these sets, especially a Sureño card. So we got to give MoneySign Sway a beat, man. Extremely impactful for the city and for the section that he representing. But I think, man, the alignment issues, you know what I'm saying, really teetering the fence with this gangbanging shit and with this rapping and just being a regular dude in the streets. I think it resulted in something that was unfavorable for him. But again, this rest in peace to that dude. He forever gonna be remembered as somebody that was really buzzing in the city. Now, the next dude on the list is somebody I really had to sit and think about if he was really gonna be on this shit, man. He's black and Mexican, but he's technically not in the Sureño gang. But since he's Mexican, he would be considered a Southern Mexican. We got Bishop Snow from Oceanside Gangsta Disciples.
Pain in my heart, you could tell mama tried. Yeah, it's gold on my side. Locals don't cry.
Mind being broken, hearts on the pieces. I wanna give up, but I feel like I need this to feed this hunger that I have to be better. My shorty still left, but the fact is I let her. These verses are the letters that I write to my own mind. I feel the hate and no love from my own kind. I wanna drink to forget and stuff my nose to get lost, but I know how the pain goes.
Now, like I said, this was a tough call for me, man. I couldn't decide whether it was right to put this dude on the Southside list. And I think it is because, number one, representation. I've been to Oceanside a couple times and I know Peysoh. Peysoh is going to be like the biggest hood out there. They're a Sureño set that's said to be territory-wise next to these Oceanside Gangsta Disciples. Now, the GDs out there, I haven't seen them and they're not that thick. I don't know if they got real membership out there. I know at one point they did. As we seen when that situation with Rick Ross and the GDs went down, we seen the young Bishop Snow with the older members from the GDs out there in Oceanside repping that shit hard.
Bitch ass nigga. Recognize what you looking at. Recognize what you looking at. Nigga. This West Coast, nigga. Simple. California. Cali. It's the mob. It's the mob. GD Bo. GD Bo. D-side Bo.
Now, as Bishop Snow said, a lot of the GDs, I think they was fucking with the Crips out there, and rightfully so. They should be fucking with the Crips. That's what they do in prison. So I think they was fucking with the Crips out there, and a lot of them kind of disbanded, got moved around, went down for different cases, and the GDs out there have kind of lost their footing. But Bishop Snow specifically has said that he grew up in Peysoh hood, and with him being part Hispanic, I would assume that his family is from Peysoh as well. But the thing that we see with Bishop Snow every time we see him is he with them Hispanic members. He with Peysoh members. So one has to say that he's representing Peysoh as well because he put these dudes out just like Suede was putting out F-13 to the world. Bishop Snow is doing the same with Peysoh, man. So this is why he's on the list. Now, another thing we seen with Bishop Snow is he was with Spanky Loco. We gonna talk about Spanky Loco from Westside Locos 13. But this dude was with Bishop Snow. But we also seen Bishop Snow with the Crips. We seen him with Doggy Style. We seen him with Inhale and TC3. So he moving around on both sides. But I would say based on how he carry himself, how he move and who he move with, this dude is also a Southside representative, man. Now again, I could be wrong, but this is just my viewpoint and how I see this dude. Before I knew he was a GD, I thought he was a Southsider. Similar to DrexTheJoint. When you see these dudes and they moving with Hispanic gang members, it looks a certain way. But like I said, this fact is strictly on representation. Now, Bishop Snow is also going to be somebody that's respected in this city. And we see he's respected outside the city as well. Now, when it comes to gang banging, with him being a GD, I don't know how that necessarily lies. I don't know where the enemigos lie out here. Of course, no Crips and Bloods is beefing with GDs in California. That shit is non-existent. So when it comes to that activity, I don't think he's seeing a lot of it or beefing with enemies and doing a bunch of shit on the street. I think he's real family-oriented right now, doing this shit with Peysoh. But this leads me to believe that if Peysoh gets into an issue with his people being from Peysoh, he would back Peysoh up in whatever endeavors that they choose to engage in. Thus, even more proving why he's representing the South Side. Again, just my viewpoint. Y'all gonna say whatever y'all want to say in the comments on how he should be or what he should be. But I also see the Southsiders fuck with this dude. Other Southsiders, other dudes outside of Peysoh. I see he has a strong Hispanic backing. So with that being said, to wrap it all the way up, I'm going to give this man Bishop Snow an A for how he carries himself and how he represents the South Side, whether he's from a Sureño gang or not. This dude rolling with him, and he's representing, and he seemed to be holding it down, man. Out of Oceanside, California, Bishop Snow with an A. Now, next up on the list, we got a dude that used to be at No Jumper. I think he used to be. I don't think he's still there no more. But we got Compa RaidHer from Barrio San Fortrese.
Yeah, fool. I feel like he's really soft, fool. Is he really from his set, fool? Like, I probably get more love in his own hood, fool.
Whoa.
If I pull up in his own hood, fool, in his project, I probably get more love. He's like soft like a ping pong ball, dog.
Oh.
Like that light and soft, dog.
Now, the thing with Compa RaidHer, man, he has an outspoken beef with Whack 100. Now, you know, Whack 100 is not a dude that we talk highly of on this channel based on his antics and all the shit that he pushing. But Compa RaidHer has a problem with him because of their hoods. Both of their sets are going to be beefing, and they have for a long time. Out there in that valley area, 2 P's and a B, and San Fortrese is going at it. So I think that's where the situation is going to solely lie with Compa RaidHer and Whack 100. And I felt like it was kind of messy for Compa RaidHer to even be on No Jumper with both of them dudes beefing. We know Whack is a staple at No Jumper, damn near a long-term business partner. So for them two to be touching the same grounds was kind of a crazy situation to begin with. But nonetheless, we seen Compa RaidHer diss 2 P's and a B on No Jumper, period. Now the thing is with him, he's said to have had a little drug problem in the past, like a lot of them dudes up there have at No Jumper. And you know, it's no problem if you done hopped on some dope and, you know, made it out of it and shit, you know, but it's a couple people up there. It's really one motherfucker up there that's still on hella drugs and acting like he not a J-Cat. But Compa RaidHer is somebody that's been sober off that. But we seen Compa RaidHer still be off that drink.
Finish that off right now.
Right now, fool.
Right now, whole thing.
Oh, you want to finish this off? All right, look, if I
actually don't want to encourage you to do that, because
if I finish this shit, am I hired?
I'm not gonna. No.
No. All right, look, I'm gonna.
Let's see what you got, fool. That's a big shot. Dude, he's not gonna be able to stand up to take the photo.
I'm hired.
And I think some of the shit he be saying was off that drink, and he slithered and he talking hella shit. It's a dude that was going up there kind of going hard on a couple situations. But he seemed to be somebody that also got his hand in his own business adventures as well. But overall, man, I'm going to say them couple things that I seen from him. Sometimes he was a little slithered. Not the best representation. I'm not saying that he got paperwork on his name or smut or shit like that. Again, he was looking to beef with his enemies. That's what it is. But I think it could have been a little smoother and clean cut for Compa RaidHer. So he going to have to get a beat. You know what I'm saying? For just being a little rough around the edges when representing this Southside shit while he was on No Jumper. Now, next up on the list, we got King Lil G from 18th Street.
God keeps telling me to make that beat bang. Looking for meat meal for that 18th Street chain. I'm a prophet, I've been reaching bigger pockets. I got good aim, fuck James Harden, I got the Rockets. Keep your eye on your bitches, they acting friendly too. Fucking way more bitches on camera than Adam 22. Catch me at the crime scene, homie, snitch if you wanna. Better fix your playlist, I don't listen to Gunna.
Now, King Lil G is somebody, man, that's been in the rap game for a little minute as well. And we seen him fucking with a lot of people, but a lot of motherfuckers that gave him some issues about his street credibility and where he's actually from. Now, I've heard some things about this dude being from the Tiny Winos, man, Inglewood 18. It's been said this dude hood hop from Inglewood 18 to be from Southside Cudahy 18. Now, I've seen a few people saying this, and they've also talked about exactly where he's from, whether he's from Mexico or if he was born in the States. And you know, that's some shit where people was trying to attack the street cred because of that as well. But it was said that he was putting in work for Southside 18 in Cudahy. Some people say Southgate, but we covered them in our Cudahy video when we did Huntington Park, Cudahy, Maywood. Y'all go check that shit out. But King Lil G supposedly from there. I don't know about the hood hop allegations. People still consider him being from Inglewood. We see him and Young Dopey. I don't know about their situation, whether they full-fledged beefing. We seen Young Dopey say he didn't really have no problems with King Lil G. We know Young Dopey is for sure from Tiny Winos, Inglewood 18. So I don't know where King Lil G lies in this whole shit. But I think a main narrative that people try to push on his name is that he also paying to play. You know, he paying the gangsters off, get his street cred up, get his name buzzing out there, and to be able to move around the streets. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like a lot of people have a lot of things to say about King Lil G, man, about his reputation. But the hood hopping and shit like that, man, that, you know, that's not to be condoned. even though it's still the same gang, it's like, why do you go from Inglewood 18 to Cudahy 18? You know, I think some question marks lie there, man. That's why we got to give King Lil G a C. You know, not saying he fully smutted out. Clearly, he ain't got no paperwork. Somebody from 18th Street is fucking with this dude. Which one it is, I can't say. But we can't have the hood hopping over here, man. King Lil G with a C. Now, next up on the list, we got Young Drummer Boy from P-Town. Happy Town, Pomona 13.
Hey G, go and tell them where you from. See that all black chop, it'll make them all run. Yeah, we banged out, and we rolling with them things out. Fully automatic, better pray this shit don't ring out.
Hey Drum, you gotta check it out. I'm about to pull up with this bitch around 11, dog, I'm checking out.
Now, I gotta give a shout out to P-Town, man. I done spent a lot of time out there, and P-Town get cracking, man, so we gotta give him a shout out. But Young Drummer Boy is somebody that seems to have some really good relations in the industry, man. We see this dude musically, he everywhere. We done seen him with Lefty Gunplay, King Lil G, Draco. We done seen him with Back on Fed, In Hell. This dude be outside, man, and like I said, Pomona be cracking. Now, his set gonna be further down Hope, but between Town and Indian Hill on Hope, not only is that the little stroll right there, but it's also cracking in that area. But all the Hope gonna be cracking, man. But nonetheless, man, Young Drummer Boy seems to be somebody that's really representing the Southsiders properly, especially coming out of Pomona and having that great connection with LA. Now, Pomona's still LA County, just like San Gabriel Valley, all this other shit that we speak on, that a lot of these dudes is from. Not everybody's gonna be actually from the city of LA. But P-Town is still LA County, man, and Young Drummer Boy seem to be putting it down properly from Happy Town, Pomona. And, you know, we also seen Young Drummer Boy outside with Lefty Gunplay. So, you know, the alliances is kind of crazy right now. It seems like the divide inside is who's fucking with Lefty Gunplay, who's fucking with Swifty Blue. Then you got the older dudes going at it, Bozo, Dubs, Baldacci. The shit's all over the place, man. But we did see Lefty Gunplay fucking with Young Drummer Boy as well. So we just had to throw him on the list, man, real quick, speak on it, shout it out. And y'all keep watching out for Young Drummer Boy, somebody that's buzzing right now in LA, man. We got to give Young Drummer Boy an A for how he represents the Southside shit. But next up on the list, we got Young Dopey from Inglewood 18th Street.
I keep slipping, I keep falling, I keep slipping, I keep falling. But I never give up through all my problems. Forgive my sins, Lord, I know you love me regardless. Another problem, added to the bills and rent, no help. So you questioning who really your friend. Got you questioning if God really do exist. When you do good and still end up in the mess.
Now, amidst everything that we see with Gold Toes, Baldacci, Bozo, everybody that's talking about this South and the North shit, Young Dopey's came out and said that he has respect for the North. Now, I don't know where that lies when it comes to the North coming down here and doing what they're doing, their music videos or whatever, but he spoke on having respect for the North, man. So I don't think he's gonna take that same stance that Bozo and Lefty gonna take against Baldacci with that whole movement. Not saying that he cool with the North or anything like that, but he has spoke about having respect for them dudes. But he's also a respected member from 18th Street. And he's also been known to stay solid in the pen, man. But most recently, I think he posted a $2 million bail. He got a hot ass case, man. You know, hopefully he can stay out and beat that shit. But, you know, when Blue Devil was speaking, and there's no hate or anything like that to Young Dopey, but, you know, it may be time to hang this street shit and wrap shit up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to see motherfuckers stay out. Again, $2 million bail mean a hot ass case, man. You know, motherfuckers just gotta hone in and be on top of their shit and stay out to the streets. And that's what we want to see out of Young Dopey. You know, stay out and keep providing for his family. But again, Young Dopey's an active dude from his section. Like I said, he's been known to stay solid in the pen. He's been known to be solid on the streets. And most recently, we seen him trying to collab with Pac-Man from 60s. So this dude is still trying to apply pressure in the music industry, still trying to get his name buzzing out there. But again, hopefully he stay out and do his shit right. But he's somebody that represents the Southside right. No spun on his name, even though it may have been some shit between him and King Lil G. He didn't get on an interview all slithered and fucked up, talking hella shit about another Southside counterpart. So we see Young Dopey has some composure about himself as well. So he's somebody that we also got to give an A for representing the shit right for the Southsiders, man. Now, next up on the list, we got Spanky Loco from Westside Locos 13.
Hop in, I'm rolling with my friends. Car kinda low, so it's hard to get in. It's a Sunday cruise. We let it go shoes, wet ass paint, fresh tattoos. Hop in, rolling with your friends. paint real wet with some dark ass tint. It's a Sunday cruise. We love the chrome shoes. Loud ass car with some fresh tattoos.
Now, Spanky Loco is going to be somebody that's been on the scene for an extremely long time as well. You know, this dude go back to an incident that he had with Night Owl, where it was said that he slapped Night Owl over a situation that had transpired between the two of them. And Spanky went on to say that situation right there that he had with Night Owl kind of derailed his career in a way. But, you know, we still see Spanky Loco outside putting it down and being some real representation for this outside shit. We just seen him recently linked up with Bishop Snow. From Oceanside, they got a record together and he's still doing his rapping shit, still putting it on in the streets. And you know, the area that he's from is really that La Cienega Heights, West LA area. And this is somebody that also has had positive dealings with Gold Toes. You know, so it looks like Gold Toes is trying to create, I'm not gonna say like an alliance, but kind of a cordial relationship with these dudes in the South. And a lot of older dudes down here are really respecting that and they're not trying to fight it. You know what I'm saying? What we see a lot between all of these guys on the list, it's a lot of division. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these hoods are beefing. It's not a lot of shit that's being clicked up between a lot of dudes in the 13 car on the streets. So I think the older dudes, they want to see more division. So this is why this situation with Gold Toes is transpiring, it seemed like. But another dude Spanky Loco was going at it with was 6ix9ine, where he said he was trying to lead 6ix9ine in the right way. He talked to him. You know, he didn't want to necessarily write him off just because he looked like a goofy. But he basically said 6ix9ine ended up showing his colors and he wasn't fucking with him. And he was actually going to bring 6ix9ine around some official Sudanyo members. And I guess that didn't end up transpiring. But Spanky Loco was an OG out here, man. And he putting it down, still holding it down the right way. So, you know, we got to give Spanky Loco an A, man. Now, next up on the list is the guy that was actually signed to 400, man. Signed to a black label, to keep it real. We got SadBoy Loko from Eastside Traviesos 13.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'ma get fucked up. I'ma get fucked up. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'ma get fucked up. I'ma get fucked up. On a Monday, usually I'm up tired, still drunk from last night.
Now I say that because there's been a lot of back and forth between black and brown on who's signing with who. Like brown rappers signing to black dudes or black dudes signing brown rappers or whatever it is. Like we seen with Tres and Whack, that whole situation. But SadBoy Loko was somebody that actually was signed to YG, man. And he really did his shit with YG and Slim 400. Now, most notably, we seen SadBoy go down on a hot ass case. I think it was like an attempt or something like that. And we seen YG helped him out with a lawyer. And the lawyer did what they were supposed to do. SadBoy Loko is back on the streets doing this shit. And it seemed like him and YG still have a great relationship, even though he's not signed to 400 anymore. That was dope to see that gap bridge, you know what I'm saying, between black and brown. But SadBoy is a solid ass dude. We seen he fought his case, he did his shit. Most notably, when we seen him on Vlad TV, he kept his stitch lip, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't too much yapping coming out of his mouth, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these older dudes, they really know how to be composed when that camera come on, or just in any situation where they know saying too much can have them looking fucked up in the end. A lot of young people on both sides, all sides, kind of get that fucked up. There's some young dudes that's really putting it down, but most of the time it's gonna be these older dudes that are win and sit down, win and have respect with their enemies, and it's dudes like SadBoy that come out and be a great representation for this shit, man. So I'm gonna say SadBoy Loko, he's another one with an A on this list, man. Now, next up on the list, we got Chito Rana from Hal Park to that say all the way up in Sacramento, man.
I want an all blue Maybach so I can smoke inside of it. I just met this bitch tonight and already piped it. I just bought an Infinite blue tips inside of it. Had to shoot at him first cause I was excited.
Now, the interesting thing that a lot of people don't really pay attention to or even know about is the Sudaños in the north, man. It's not just Norteños when we get up to the Bay, and Chito Rana is proof of that. But I personally seen this dude when he got out, when he was fucking with Swifty Blue. But now him and Swifty is beefing. I don't understand. You know, I don't know what went wrong, where they fell out, but them dudes is beefing right now. But we talked about Swifty. He's ready to fall out and beef with whoever. He's standing on this shit. Yeah, you can't fault the dude for how he feel about motherfuckers. But Chito Rana is on the receiving end of some dissing by Swifty Blue. But the thing is, between him and Swifty, we seen Chino talking to Compa RaidHer, where he talking about Swifty linked information. I think it was his brother that got killed. He linked information to the full community about his brother's death. Now, I don't know if that's exactly why they fell out, but they fell out when they was just cool with Chito getting out. But a key thing, I think, where everybody saw that viral moment when he was up at No Jumper and his ankle monitor went off. You know, a lot of people from the north is coming down to fuck with No Jumper, and Chito Rana is a Sudaño that it came down to do it.
What the fuck is that?
Like the smoke detector or something?
I don't know. I've been smoking in here all day. God damn it. Yeah, it's the TV.
Oh, it's the beeping. On the gang. Hey.
It's his ankle monitor.
Nah, my ankle monitor. Cool, brother. Like.
But you know, some interesting things was said about Chito Rana, and we saw some interesting things. You know, we seen some dudes kind of run up on him. I think it was some Norteños ran up on him, dissed his hood and some more shit, and he just sat back, really didn't get active. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that's about.
So, Rata, what's up with a homie? I'm gonna wait for you outside, fool. Caught you slipping. You ready? You want them ones? Yeah? Fucking Rata, homie. Fucking scrap, fool. Fuck out part, homie. It's Norte, nigga. Remember that, you suck ass nigga. This nigga's a rapper, this nigga's scary, nigga. Bitch ass nigga. Come on, nigga.
I don't know what's up with how the Sudaños are moving up north. As we know, they're outnumbered up there. And I've heard them dudes saying that Chito hood is not active. I can't say that. But what I did see is when the dude was dissing this shit, he didn't really get active. But then I seen in another video, he was in the mall. He got up with another Norteño. He's dissing this shit. So he's seemingly active outside, and he seems to be repping this set. But either way, that's the only thing we see with Chito in terms of beefing and doing certain shit. I'm going to say I don't know what's up with that video servicing when them dudes was dissing his hood, and he ain't make no movement on it. I think that right there, man, is not something that we necessarily want to see. But other than that, he ain't got no paperwork, no smut on his name. I'm going to give Chito a beat. You know, reputation been solid. We ain't heard no smut on his name in the pen. He got out, he did his shit. But again, when that camera cut on and somebody dissing and you just seen kicking back, you look like you ain't really want no problems. That's why you gonna have to get a B on that. Next up on the list, we got Rowdy Racks from Southside Puente 13.
Hey, gang come first, never secondary. Show you op niggas depressing lines is necessary. Bitch, I'm active. Rowdy Racks ain't never scary. Diss me on Valentine's, you won't see the end of February, nigga. I be doing niggas cold. I put that on my soul. You don't wanna be my next goal. I be talking to my straps like, let's go. Lead a car running, I hop out and let go. Shit.
Now, Rowdy Racks, man, I ain't gonna lie, he's an active dude from the San Gabriel Valley. It's another dude from San Gabriel Valley, not far from Lefty Gunplay hood, but that's where we gonna start, man. Where it was said him and Lefty had some beef. Now, we seen them on Food Community, both of these dudes together, cleaning it up, and they collab together, man. So that's some good shit to see. But like we said, you know, it's two sides. It's a side that's fucking with Lefty, a side that's fucking with Swifty. And Rowdy Racks is somebody that fuck with a lot of people, man. We just seen him recently drop a record with Avenue Champ from Paru. Rowdy Racks fucking with them. Yellow Hill. He also collabed with DrexTheJoint, which DrexTheJoint not far from San Gabriel Valley. We done seen him also with Broadway Gangster, man. He done been with G Perico, Young Drummer Boy. Rowdy Racks is somebody that's potentially next up with this rap shit, man. He's doing this shit. He's making a lot of good connections in the industry. But like I said, man, he's also been a factor in his set. His name been ringing bells in La Puente, man. You got to believe that. But this is also somebody that's representing it right. He's not coming on this motherfucker slithered, super fucked up. I heard a couple dudes say he looked like a J-Cap. I don't think that's the case. This dude's been a well-respected member in this set. And it's a word that we like to use, man, composure. Rowdy Racks, somebody that shows a lot of composure, especially when that camera turn on. He's not doing too much talking, and he's not making a fool of himself or his hood. And, man, that's exactly what we want to see, man. So when we talk about activity, it's there, man. Impact, he's buzzing from the OC to LA to the San Gabriel Valley, and his reputation is solid, man. He's somebody that's also been said to keep it solid behind them walls. It's no smut, no paperwork on Rowdy Racks' name, so we got to give that name, man. This dude is putting it down the right way, exactly how we want it to be seen, man. Now, next up on the list, we got Rich Rabbit from Eastside Playboy 13.
Gemini, baby, for my birthday, I want a baby Drake. Better watch who you tapping when you come to LA. Thinking you tough, ask where I'm from and get shot up in your face. And I ain't even signed deal yet, and I'm riding through this bitch in Mercedes. Lately, feel like niggas getting paid to hate me. A top dog like LeBron, I'm gon' ball if you trade me.
Now we got another black Sudaño that's representing this shit the right way, man. I gotta give it to him. Rich Rabbit been putting this shit down for a long time, and we talked extensively about him and his set when we did that East Side South Central video. This is the same hood Peysoh from, Mr. Keep It Hood, another black Sureño. And like we said, man, Rabbit Gang, these dudes is known to really be putting it down in the city, man. They really with that action, and Rich Rabbit been in the middle of the action, man. We seen him a lot in his hood. But he's somebody that's really trying to make it out the hood and bubble up in this rap shit and really get a name for himself. But we also seen he's inserting himself into this Southside Northside beat. We seen him dissing Rico Too Smooth, a couple other motherfuckers. He don't seem to be having this Norteño in the South movement going on. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's gonna be two sides to that fence. So we see a lot of older dudes for it, a lot of younger dudes like Rich Rabbit not gonna be for it. Now, we haven't seen Rich Rabbit and the Peysoh collab yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be on the way soon because we seen Mr. Keep It Hood fucking with Peysoh. But Rabbit Gang and Rich Rabbit is not gonna be playing, man. They really be putting it down out here. Rich Rabbit is still an active member in this shit, man. No smut on his name. We not hearing no telling going on, none of this bullshit that a few other motherfuckers may have attached to their name. This ain't that with Rich Rabbit, man. And even though he's black, we see that he's fully accepted in this shit, and he's 10 toes down with this shit. And I say he's representing this Southside shit the right way. And we also seen him recently with Swifty Blue, man. They was outside together.
Show out, nigga. Yeah, we out here, nigga. Come on, gangland, check in. That part.
So they seem to have good relationships. There's really no reason for them dudes to be beefing, so that's good to see. But he also dissed the upstate Sureño, Gravedigger 3300.
Fuck rap, bitch, I'm really in the streets thugging. I squabble any nigga in here mean mugging. And fuck Gravedigger, you ain't never killed nothing. I heard they had that boy in the feds dick sucking. Tough in the land, but he come from out of town. Steady speaking on the hood, trying to copy Swift style. Pipe down, you ain't gangster, you a whole fucking clown. Now I give you a warm welcome and strip you out of bounds. You a pussy in Richmond, don't even.
But we also seen Peysoh fucking with Chito. So, you know, the coming weeks and months, things are going to be real interesting to see how this Southside movement keeps coming along together, man. Because there's a lot of division going on, and we see it seems like certain motherfuckers starting to pick sides, and even then, motherfuckers is falling out. So, amidst all the bullshit, Rich Rabbit is somebody that's keeping it solid and representing this set and the Southsiders the right way, man. We got to give Rich Rabbit an A for this shit. Again, y'all go check out our Eastside South Central video when we touched on him and his hood, Eastside PBS 13. Them dudes is active, man. Now, last but not least on the list, man, we got Conejo from the Dead End Harpies to that say gang, man.
All systems go, twisted drill, pissing up the Eiffel Tower on the people below. Cause I run shit, and this you know. Got your bitch sucking dick, she the neighborhood. That's the icing on the cake, yeah, kinda sorta. For you playing on the level where you see my aura, never getting it.
Now, Conejo is an OG to this shit. This dude been around for an extremely long time putting it down. And you know what? Something that was real crazy to see is when Sean LaBeouf, who has ties with the Harpies, shouted him out. You know what I'm saying? And he been doing his rapping shit, but Conejo's been known as a dude that was really representing that Dead End Harpy shit to the max, man. And we spoke on the Harpies extensively when we covered that Pico Union Westlake area. We added Harpies in there as well, so y'all go check that out. But again, Conejo's an OG to this shit, and something that really stuck out in regards to all this shit about the North and the South that's going on right now. Like we said in Baldacci Park, Conejo said he had a great time when he went up north, man. He's not having no problems with the North. He's not having problems with Gold Toes. But like I said, he's an OG. This is what he's supposed to be on. He pushing peace for his homies. But he's also still representing the Southside the right way. So, you know, we had to throw him on here too, man. Conejo's going to get an A for putting it down the right way and being an OG, man.